This is kind of why I say that the rankings, or not rankings, the seedings are not as concrete as you'd think. A couple things, like I said, can be true about the Knicks 76ers series. It is obviously true that the Knicks are up 2-0 in the series. Obvious. It's obviously true that the Knicks have seized winning moments more than the 76ers obviously have in this series. Those things are true. I think what can be subjective is who has been the better team throughout this playoff series so far. Again, I'm not taking anything away from the New York Knicks. But watching how these games are being played, watching how these games unfold, and looking at Joel Embiid, it's clear as day to me that if we had a healthy Joel Embiid, the Sixers would probably be the better team and would essentially could possibly win this series. And that's kind of where I kind of want to stop at Joel Embiid. When Joel Embiid tore his meniscus, or partially tore his meniscus, I came on here and said that you have to focus on yourself. You have to your brand is yourself. I know it's a selfish thing, and when we talk about team sports, it's tough to relay the message of be your best advocate. Because in team sports, that's kind of frowned upon. It's always, what's best for the team, and you have to put yourself for the team. And I get that. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but there's no way that you can look at this series, this Knicks 76ers series, and look at Joel Embiid and think he's supposed to be out there. There's no way that you can look and see him limping the whole game and see him laboring to get up every single time he hits the floor, or to see him not be able to get elevation on his jump shot or rebounds, or to see him literally try to sprint and his body won't allow him, and think this guy is healthy enough to play. I'm not taking anything away from the Knicks. I think the Knicks have been great. No, what the Knicks have done is they've seized the moments. If you look at how both games ended, the Knicks have been able to seize the moment. The Knicks have been able to we talk about margin of victory, and those moments, they've been able to seize the moments. Whether we talk about, a Tyrese Maxey turnover that essentially got Dante DiVincenzo a wide open shot, he misses, and then Isaiah Hartenstein gets the offensive rebound, kicks it back out to DiVincenzo. He hits the three. Those margin of error, or those margins, they seized it. But like I said, a couple things can be true. I think that the Knicks have been the better team down the stretch of both of these games. Even with Jalen Brunson struggling, especially in game 2 with his shot, the Knicks have been the better team finishing games. But I think that if you look at the team and you look at the game, the 76ers have been the better overall team. They just have not been able to close. And a lot of that is because the things that they're used to, the things that made them the 76ers, at least when you look at Joel Embiid and his health, you know he's not right. And there's no way he should be on this floor. But I also understand, and I think he understands, and the 76ers understand, they have no shot, absolutely no shot of winning this series if Joel Embiid is not out there. I've said this before, and I say this again. I don't care if you don't have your best player, especially if your best player is on that superstar status, you have no shot. You may have shot to win a series. We'll talk about the Clippers Clippers Denver series in a second. Maybe, you might have a shot to win a series if you don't have your superstar best player. But a lot of times you don't in situations like this. I don't think the 76ers have a shot in hell if Joel Embiid is not there. But the issue is, even with I don't think they have a shot if Joel Embiid is not 100%, and he's clearly not 100%. Again, I don't think the Knicks have been dramatically better than the 76ers have been in this series. In fact, I think the 76ers have been the better team in these first two games. What I will give the Knicks credit for, and what I think the Knicks have exceeded in, is the winning plays at the end of games. They have made more winning plays than the 76ers, obviously, which is why they find themselves up 2-0 in the series. Now, again, another thing I want to talk about is officiating, because we've seen some questionable calls and non-calls with the Nuggets Lakers series, and we've seen it towards the end, especially game 2 with the Knicks and 76ers. I agree with the sentiment that you should never allow the game to get to the point where a ref's decision, a ref's call dictates what happens. I think you're definitely playing with fire when you're taking the outcome out of your hands, essentially, and needing somebody else that is not part of the team to dictate how the game goes or how the game is called at the end. I think you do yourself a disservice when you have to worry about somebody else's call. But in the same breath, I do think that there has to be some type of, or there has to be more of an accountability with the refs and how their missed calls dictate a game. And I think the biggest slap in the face to fans, to these teams, to the NBA in general, is usually the day after the game or 2 days after, when the ref report or the ref statement comes out, pretty much confirming what everyone has seen and confirming, yeah, that was a foul, or no, that wasn't a foul. There has to be some type of accountability, and I'm not blaming refs for anything. I think the reason why the Denver Nuggets are up 2-0, I think the reason why the Knicks are up 2-0 is because they deserve to be up 2-0, and they played their way to 2 wins. But there have been some blatant missed calls with both of those series, and I do think that those missed calls have essentially affected how the end of the game went down. Whether we talk about D'Angelo Russell getting hit in the face, whether we talk about Tyrese Maxey getting held on the last play that essentially had it essentially ended in Dante DiVincenzo hitting the three. I think there has to be more accountability, because if there's not, you're going to continue to get situations like you had with those two games. And again, I'm not taking away from the Nuggets. I'm not taking away from the Knicks. I think that they both deserved the record that they have right now in the playoffs. I just think there has to be more of accountability with the refs. I will say that. Because the last thing that the NBA wants is the way the game is viewed to be skewed because of missed calls and poor officiating. Because we talk about image, right? And we always talk about how these organizations, these leagues, NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, they care dramatically about how you view them. They care dramatically about what their perception is, because that's essentially what makes them money, viewership. And if the viewership continues to go down or continues to decline because of the poor officiating, that's going to be a major problem. Well, this is the second game, or there's been two, at least to this point, there's been two series that have been, people can say have been dictated or have been swayed by bad officiating. I don't think so, but that's what's being said. So I think the NBA definitely should figure something out, because when you got LeBron, who is obviously the face of the league still, calling out the refs in the playoff series, or you have Joel Embiid talking about the refs. Just saying. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.